The views expressed on this Turnbuckle Tabloid live stream or Turnbuckle Tabloid podcast episode do not reflect the views, thoughts, or opinions of the Rageworks brand, including the Rageworks podcast network, Rageworks content partners, advertisers, and affiliates. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Hey, yo, it's King Capo, Matt Travis, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Tabloids.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Bring the in-ring action home to your tabletop with the #1 wrestling card game in the world, Super Show the Game. And live all your wildest wrestling fantasies without ever taking a chair shot. Available on supershowthegame.com. Order today and join a spectacle so grand it can only be called the Super Show.
Hey, this is Jordan Oliver, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Turnbuckle Tabloid, cutting a promo.
Reach for the sky, boy.
A remarkable 13-time Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion. Ring of Honor 6-man Tag Team Champ. Ring of Honor World Champion 2 times over. New Japan IWGP Tag Team Champion. Crockett Cup winner, NWA. Impact World Tag Team Champion, House of Glory Tag Team Champion, Game Changer Wrestling Tag Team Champion. The career of Jay Briscoe expanded 25, almost 30 years. This past week, we heard the tragic news that Jay and his children were involved in a car accident, fatally killing Jay Briscoe. And the news just shook up the wrestling world. It's one of those news stories that you can't believe because the individual who is no longer with us is one of those that you would thought would be here forever. And then to hear that his children were involved in the accident just draw similarities to when you hear the stories of Kobe Bryant dying in his helicopter accident with his daughter. Thankfully, so far, his 2 daughters are out of surgery. They're still in critical but stable condition. We are all in a state of shock. It's been a couple of days now since I've heard the news, and my initial recording, which I did with M2 Inc., I was an emotional wreck because it just drew a lot of similarities to what we've been going through the past couple of years with losing wrestlers so early. For instance, when we lost Matt Travis, when we lost Brody Lee, and countless others who their lives were cut short. And then now you hear about Jay, and like I said, he's one of those individuals, those wrestlers that were just really larger than life. And when you have many people in your circle who have had contact with him, who know him, who can share great stories and moments about him with you, it means something. I am grateful to have had one small moment with him. And each time we ran into each other, he always showed me love and dapped me up. But I remember it was 10 years ago. It was during WrestleMania 29 weekend. We went to the Ring of Honor show that was happening at the ballroom at Hammerstein Manhattan Center. And they were running 3 Ring of Honor shows. They were recording their TV tapings that weekend, that Saturday. And after I got situated and found my seats and such, and of course, I'm going to run and go get me something to drink. And I'm waiting online to go in the bar, and I see Jay. And he's surrounded by a couple of people, and, people, fans are coming by shaking hands with him and, introducing. And this is at the time where, if I'm not mistaken, where he was getting a singles push for the world title. And I always tell you guys, I'm not really one to be very much involved in introducing myself to wrestlers or trying to get a photo op or an autograph. I really try to stay away from that. But at this point in time, I was thinking about doing it, and then I was like, nah, I'm not gonna bother him. He looks busy and such like that. So I'm moving closer up to the bar, and I see that the fan base and the people around them is thinning, and it looked as though as he was becoming a little bit more isolated. He was just standing around. By the time I got to the bar and I ordered a drink, I looked over and he and I had eye contact, and he gave me a nod. I gave him a nod, and I tell him, I said, good luck today. I'm loving what's happening with you, man. And he's like, thanks, man. Shook my hand, and I asked, how's Mark doing? And he's, man, he's doing good, bro. Everything's good. And, he looked at me, he said, got a nice little firm handshake there. I said, I have to, because I have little hands. I got hands like a Barbie doll. And he laughs and he goes, yeah, you almost got a handshake like a worker. I was like, nah, I only play one on TV. He goes, you a work? And I said, nah, I'm not a worker. I said, I couldn't do what you guys do. You guys bump around all day. I only do it on video games. And he laughed and he was like, see you around, man. And I'm like, yeah, man, good show tonight. And just for that moment, I felt good, because it was like, I've watched the Briscoes, and I started watching Ring of Honor maybe around 06, 07, around that time. And they had made their comeback around, I believe it was around that time as well. And I've always liked, well, you guys who listen to the show, I've always loved tag team wrestling. And Ring of Honor was like something new to me to watch. And I only really watched it because I was only seeing like the guys like Nigel McGuinness, Bryan Danielson, Punk, Austin Aries, and that ilk coming along. And never really saw anything really stand out with tag team wrestling until I saw the Briscoes, the American Wolves. And I remember watching the Briscoes, and I'm going, wow, this is not a Ring of Honor tag team. And I said that genuinely because they reminded me of a classic tag team, like something from the 80s. The way that they worked, it was a mix of, like the Rockers or Rock and Roll Express or Heart Foundation, or for their size and the way, the techniques, the movements, the rapid pacing of the in and out tags. I was always impressed by them. And whenever someone had asked me during that time, who's your favorite tag team, I would always say the Briscoes, and they'll go, well, who was that? Because nobody was really watching Ring of Honor. They knew of them, but they didn't really know, they didn't know what they would, how they were in the ring, because, you couldn't really get Ring of Honor. And it always carried with like that whole stigma for me to find them or look for them whenever I could get the chance to catch videos of them. Like I would watch, whatever YouTube video clips of them. Through the years, I watched the progression, not only ring wise, but also the aesthetic, the look. Now, you look at the Briscoes, and these guys, they weren't your teen heartthrobs. The missing teeth, the outback look, the ruggedness, but they had something going for them. And I always said that they were hood rednecks because, the music, the grittiness, the way they spoke, it was captivating. It was polarizing to watch them. But who really, and although I love Mark, I think Mark is an exceptional athlete and wrestler, but there was something about Jay that Jay spoke like he was from the block with us, like he was from the hood. He might have been country, but he could have been our country, dude, like from on the block. And when he got his singles push, I was excited for him, because I was like, shit, now you get to see like him apart and him growing as an individual. And it didn't hurt Mark's run as well, because Mark had he had dealt with an injury during the time, and then he came back and facilitated the role as well with him. But I was really excited to see that he was getting that look. Through the years, I always would have arguments with people when they would say, who should be in WWE? And they say the Briscoes. And I said, yeah, you wish. It's never going to happen. That look, that feel, that personality never would mesh with WWE. It's not going to happen. And I was right, because although they rumored that there was tryouts or thoughts of possibility happening, it wasn't going to happen. It made a lot more sense for them to stay where they were and also be independents, because independently they were the people's champions. They were the people's tag team champs. And you saw it through the years, how the people, whether they were spitting in people's faces, doing them dirty, or coming to the ring and you just hear the gunshots, the people loved him. We loved him. And Jay was that focal point, that centerpiece of a two-man group. And it's always like that. It's always there, that there's this one guy. Everybody says, the Shawn Michaels out of the Rockers, or the Bret Hitman of the Heart Foundations. And it's not a disrespect to Mark, but Jay was the face of not only their tag team, but also at one point in time of Ring of Honor. Through the years, you see their growth, their tenacity, the matches that they've had up and down the road, and you saw them just getting better and better. at 17, 18 years old when they debuted in Impact, you saw what could be greatness, and they showed improve. And you saw 20 years later, almost, like I said, 25 years later, because they've been wrestling at such a young age, that that they broke the barriers and showed that, yeah, you're going to love what the fuck we do. And we did. I remember bumping into them again the past year or so when I was able to get to the House of Glory shows. And each time, you know, it was always the same thing. Give the look, give the nod, give the handshake. That intimidating duo was to be heralded as probably one of the warmest, nicest, and passionate individuals in the locker room. I've heard so many different tales from people, even before Jay's passing, on how people were like, "Yo, that's family right there." And then you are now just seeing the videos, the images of Jay with his wife and his kids, and it's heart-wrenching to know that a woman lost a husband, children lost their father, and greatly a man lost his brother, which was his closest bond besides his own family and his own kids. And to think that he passed the day before his brother's birthday. It's sad that death occurs. It's even sadder when death occurs unexpectedly, and for those who are young, and you can never get over it. You can never come to grips with it. It's tough when somebody's time comes and it wasn't their time. As a wrestling fan, this affects us all greatly, but as a father, as someone's child, it's hard to think that death can occur at any moment, and you just don't know when it'll happen and how you're going to react to it. We here at Turnbuckle Tabloid are saddened and send our condolences and prayers to the people, to Jay and Jay's wife and family, and Mark and their family, and their father as well, who is suffering right now, because it's another one. It's a man who just lost his son. It was nice to see what NXT did this past week. It was nice to see what AEW did. And it was nice to see that the rest of the community came out and showed the man love. I think he knew how much love he had across the wrestling fan base. And guys, please wear your seatbelts. Wear your seatbelts. When we come back, we're going to have a conversation with our boy M2 Inc. He'll discuss his thoughts about what's happening in WWE, Vince McMahon, and possibilities that's occurring with Royal Rumble coming down the way. So don't go anywhere, guys. Stick around. And please, we posted on the Facebook group page. If you can spare it, there's a fund page that is taking donations for Jay's family for their expenses. It's more than just any funeral cost. Or burial cost. It's more than that. It's, going through the rough patch with, their children getting surgery, having to go through surgery and medical bills and such. So please, if you guys have the opportunity and you have it, donate a little something for them. We'll be back. Take you guys in a sec.
What's going on, everybody? Tony G here, better known to the world as Josie's Boy, aka your girl's favorite artist. And today I'm here to tell you about my company, Painted in Blue. Painted in Blue is a creative house that established in 2017, and we specialize in handmade custom leather goods. We coined the term luxury minimalism because we believe even in your everyday life, no matter how much running around you have to do, you can still stand out and be fly. We create everything from luxury handbags to wallets and some of the best leathers you can find that you would love to carry on a day-to-day basis. So if you believe in looking fly while you handle your business while pushing fashion forward, make sure you guys go to paintedinblue.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at _Painted in Blue on Instagram and on Facebook at Painted in Blue.
So, of course, the big news that's going around is the fact that Impact Wrestling is going to be sold to... No, that's not it. Actually, no, that's not it, really. The big news that's happening is the fact that there's WWE's head old geezer, codger, who just won't let it go. He's back in the building, and now the talks of sale are on the horizon, but there's more to it as well. M2 Inc. here is to discuss his thoughts about this, and I pretty much know that you have a lot on your mind about this. Like, what the hell is going on in this whole situation?
My mind is blown, really, because I have not a real clue what is really going on, because we don't know. It could have been this could have been the plan all along, you know, Stephanie stepping up in Vince's place until he just calmed these allegations down. Or it could have been Triple H trying to get Vince out of power so he can go in. And, you know, they got a long-standing rivalry because it's well known that Triple H does it better than Vince, and Vince hates that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to make sure the world knows that I'm better than Triple H, okay? It's my company, my rules, all that good stuff. Or, you know, it could be a mixture of the two. Maybe it started off as a rivalry and then Triple H just gave up and let Vince. I don't know.
It's funny because not too long ago I had the man who runs this place, Turnbuckle Tabloid, the boss Rich, who discussed the fact that his belief is that Vince McMahon had the power struggle with Triple H because he deemed or felt that Triple H was weak, that, you know, NXT lost to AEW when they went head to head.
God.
And when Triple H fell ill with his heart condition, that it was a sign of weakness to him because, you know, I'm the alpha male. I don't get sick. And that was
my heart doesn't fail.
I move on. Only thing that can pin me is death. And I
don't get heart attacks. I attack hearts.
it would be that kind of mentality with Vince. And yeah, I have the same sense of belief that it's possibly that this was in the cards, already planned, that he'll go away, and you'll see once the allegations go away that he'll shift back into place. But I also say that I'm with you where the stock prices went up, ratings went up, fan approval went up, and Vince couldn't take that.
Not at all. It was boiling in his chair. He thought the ratings were going to go down because he wasn't there, probably. What do
you think is like the best opportunity for WWE right now if they do, if it is sold? Where's the best place for them to go?
I personally don't know like that because I don't know where I would want to stream WWE from, to be real. I mean, because I've heard some people say, ironically, besides NBC and Saudi, somebody said one of the front runners was fucking Apple TV.
Right.
And that would be insane. That would be poor Android users, you know. But I really don't Disney. I really don't want it to be Disney because that's going to ruin the characters.
I know who would love it. Fucking Kevin Owens and Tommaso Ciampa, because they love going to Disney. Those you always see.
Well, they have kids, of course.
They love taking pictures there. But the Saudi deal was sketchy for me in the beginning. I didn't really buy into it when the so-called announcement was discussed, because there's already talks within the industry that they're not doing business with the Saudis. Networks aren't doing business with them. The Live Tour, which is their golf league, is not being picked up majorly. So there's a lot of concerning issues when it comes to making deals with the Saudis. I think the Disney deal would be hilarious.
Oh my God.
They got the money, of course, but it also ties into ESPN, because Disney is owned by ESPN as well. So, or has
maybe it wouldn't be as bad,
right? So that could be a possibility there. But then once again, it's a shifting of time, because there wouldn't be Monday Night Raw anymore because there's Monday Night Football. So ESPN wouldn't is not going to move that. The NFL is not going to move that. WWE is
Wednesday Night Raw. Let the wars begin.
Right? It'll be something of that magnitude. It'll be that the other aspect is Netflix. I don't see that happening because Netflix has been on such a decline in the past couple of years.
I would have seen Hulu before Netflix with WWE.
Right. And Hulu has some kind of possibility. They do rerun the Raw and SmackDown shows there. There's also the other WWE documentaries and series that's on Hulu. That's a possibility. But Netflix, like I said, I don't see it happening.
Have they ever had any type of WWE content on their platform?
I mean, they've had some.
I mean, they had that New Day Undertaker thing that was lame shit.
Right. I think that was just their, like, putting their toe in the pond to see if it'll work and go over.
Yeah.
But I don't see that. A dark horse that I would possibly see that will get in would be Amazon. They're doing NFL now. They're doing Thursday Night Football. This was their first year, and although it was a little bit sketchy early on with the whole presentation, they actually did really well. So Amazon Prime might be a possibility that's there as well. But for me, the clear-cut winner, the obvious choice that should happen would be Comcast NBC. I think that would be the
NBC.
I mean, it's in the cards. They've done business with WWE for over 30 years. They already run on USA and Sci-Fi whenever their shows, which is USA's on the Comcast, and with the Saturday night main events and shit from years ago. I mean, this seems like an obvious choice. Friday nights will be an easy slide in for them for SmackDown once the Fox deal is done, and they stay on USA for Raw. And when you have your special presentations, it's easy to slide in for any NBC, Sci-Fi, or USA shows. They have a few other channels that they run on as well. It seems like an obvious choice.
And like I said, to the Saudi thing, the only reason I bought the Saudi thing, so I knew it wasn't going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen. The only reason I gave any attention is because what's the biggest FU Triple H can do what's the biggest FU Vince can do to Triple H?
Kill the company.
Exactly. Kill the company.
Kill the company.
All right, you don't want me here? All right, if I'm not here, there's no company.
Yeah, I mean, no network deal, you're killing the company. There's no one that's going to buy into it. Like I said, what are they going to do? They're going to play it on fucking Al Jazeera or some shit like that? They can't run it. It's not going to happen. That's going to be done. The old man, I honestly have to say he's lost his fucking mind. Like he's out of it.
He lost his mind way back in like 2006.
No, yeah, of course. I mean, probably even further back then, but he's lost his fucking mind when it comes to the I guess you could say the coup of coming back into WWE. Do you think that he's going to make his way back into creative?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I have this expectation, so if it doesn't happen, I'm ecstatic. But I'm really at the point of being done putting faith in WWE because Vince ain't going for nowhere, and he's gonna kill that company every time. Like, hear me out. Every time, and this is also why I said AEW was better the last 2 weeks. I get invested. They disappoint the shit out of me worse than AEW somehow. Like, for instance, you saw Raw?
Yes.
What was that match that was so good and it had a draw? No, I got somebody disqualified. No, it was on SmackDown. There was a Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Right. The main event.
In the name of storytelling. That's what they did. You got to be kidding me.
I mean,
nobody.
I can see that, but I also can see that Vince would have had fucking R-Truth dance in the middle of the fucking match or some shit like that. Like, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it would have been worse with Vince, but it's like y'all can't be like Vince while Vince is gone. Like, what is going on? I was expecting something unique.
Well, it's
like, to be honest, WWE, it's like it's either Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn or nothing, and that gets boring to a certain aspect.
It does, but then you get the whole Bray Wyatt thing that's happening, and you're like, this is dragging so much. They've killed Bray Wyatt for me because what the fuck is a lights out?
Well, we're AEW now.
No, I think it's just a sponsorship by fucking Mountain Dew. I don't see it being like a legit match or something like that. Like a gimmick match.
I do not want to see a cinematic ass match.
No, I think it's just
at the Royal Rumble. Come on.
No, I think it's more of a just a sponsorship match. They just label it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it turns left at a fucking moment. But it's like I said with the Bray Wyatt thing. I'm hoping,
and then like
that
also,
it's something
if you want to
different.
get Bray Wyatt cheered, why would you put him against LA?
Well, it's funny. LA Knight has been the one that looks more like a star in this match than this build up than anything else.
That's what I'm saying. That's been the problem for me. Bray is definitely supposed to be the babyface.
Yeah,
he's the one that came back, babyface reaction, babyface ovation, but he's practically been the heel.
Yeah, I think LA's been he's been putting over this match more than anybody else has. I've said in the last episode that I'm hoping that the Uncle Howdy thing is more of a play on his different personalities, where we're going to continuously see different Uncle Howdies, because it's going to play off different sides of him. For instance, with Alexa Bliss, it's his feminine side or his motherly side. If his brother comes, it's if Bo Dallas shows up, it's more of his family side. His warmth. If it's somebody else that plays Uncle Howdy after, it'll be his demonic side, his evil, malicious side. I'm hoping that it builds up to that. It's a faction of like 4 or 5 different people who play Uncle Howdy that just show his different sides of him. And there, it's
if Bo Dallas ain't involved, I don't want it, because they have been separated for too long.
Right. I'm hoping that it's something of that magnitude, because I'm already, it's already dragged on a little bit too long for me. I know the buildup is for Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble, somebody has to something has to happen for it to be major, for us to be
Absolutely.
like, oh, I
That's
get
one of the
it.
top 4.
Yeah, I get it. But the Vince coming into play aspect, it's discussed that they had a meeting with the roster, and he said that he's not going to be involved in creative, because the roster the roster doesn't care if Vince is there financially. They don't give a shit. They're going to get paid.
They don't want him in the creative room.
Yeah, they don't want him in creative. They don't want him at Gorilla. They don't want to hear him in the back in the commentator's ear. He's a nuisance. He's annoying. And his thoughts, his way of manipulating the angles are fucking outdated. Triple H mentioned that to the roster that he won't be involved in creative, but that's something that can change at any moment. But he's giving suggestions.
That's how it starts.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
hearing also he mainly came back for Rock because Triple H is heavy on Roman winning, and I think they want The Rock to.
Doesn't make sense. I don't.
Absolutely fucking nuts.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for that to happen. I think with them slowly separating the titles again makes more sense. We see that.
When are they going to do that?
Well, Judgment Day is going for the Raw Tag Team title.
Yeah. Oh, just the Raw?
Yeah, they're just going for the Raw Tag Team title. And
okay, so it's not the Smack. It's not for both.
No, it's just for Raw. And I'm hearing that. I mean, I've heard it a couple of times on the shows and in the outlets, the news outlets, that Owens is only going for the Raw Universal title. It's not the Undisputed title.
You mean the WWE Championship?
No, he's going for the Raw Universal title.
I thought the Universal title was SmackDown.
No,
because it's blue.
Yeah, then you're right. Then it would be the WWE title. Then it would be that. Yeah, so it's not for both belts, and I don't see Roman.
If that's the case, I pray yes.
Yeah, I don't see Roman needing the title for anything when it comes to a match with The Rock, because
at all, no way.
The highest thing that they can be going for is to be the head of the table of the Samoan dynasty. That's the biggest thing to wrestle for, to fight for. That'll be it. And I think that's
what scares me. Do you know how much common sense you just used? That's ignored in that company, bro. That scares the life out of me, bro. They're like, they're going to complicate this. You know what? You know why I think they are? It is the same thing with Cena and The Rock.
Right.
So, and they did the same thing with Orton and Edge, damn near. They almost put that as a WWE title match in 2021.
But I think the seeds are in place because upcoming Raw, we're going to see at the 30th anniversary, the Samoan dynasty, the Samoan lineage is going to pay tribute to Roman on that show. And I think that's where we're going to probably see a seed being put in place that The Rock is going to be returning. So it's already been happening on Young Rock, the TV series that it's been discussed. And that's the other thing that I'm happy with WWE creative right now. Apparently, I don't know if it's really Triple H or the writers back there are, let's say, Marvel fans, because they've been placing a lot of Easter eggs on the shows recently for the past few months. You got the teaser when you pay attention, not only the whole Bray coming back thing, but you have to watch promos and segments in the back because you get the Easter eggs in the back. You get this past week you had the formation of the Hurt Business again when you saw MVP talking to Adam Pearce with Shelton Benjamin and Cedric.
Bro. Speaking of which, you have no idea how fucking pissed I was watching the Street Profits versus the Hurt Business.
Great match.
Oh my God. Excellent match. And then they fucking lost.
They lost. And I didn't like the finish, how it happened. But once again,
MVP messed it up.
Right. Fights aren't supposed to be clean. You should look to see some kind of disorganization happening during a fight. But I thought it was a fantastic match. It made so much sense.
Well, I thought it was, like I said, it kept me so compelled because I wanted to see them win so bad. And then he broke up the pin from the frog splash. Oh my God, they're gonna win. And then they hit their tag move, and then he got rolled up.
I know, right? I thought it was. I thought just to see that is inspiration that there's possibility with the Hurt Business coming back together. We saw
right
also
that right there. I'm done saying that. I am. Every time I have said that, it's been hitting my face like a pie. Another instance. The guy we argued about last time, Mustafa Ali, still a grade A chump.
Right.
Is it worth the TV time?
Well,
is it really worth it?
Well, we're seeing what this was formulating with him is that now he and Dolph Ziggler are going to be put together in a tag team, which could be interesting.
Really?
I think so, because you got two guys who know how to work, two guys who could bump around and put other guys over. And
but I get they're both good workers, but what do they have in common? What chemistry do they have?
Hey, listen.
Why those two?
There's a lot of tag teams that come together that you look on paper and go, what the fuck is that? And they've been successful.
This is like a Bobby Roode and a Chad Gable.
I mean, yeah, I think that you hold out because right now at least they're giving that division some kind of grouping for them to be a staple within the company, within the promotion. Vince fucking squashed the tag teams. He didn't see anything in them, and now we're seeing tag teams come back to life again within this creative regime. I'm happy for. But you know,
so hear me out, because I just blew my mind a little bit because I mentioned Bobby Roode and we talked about Dolph Ziggler. They were the tag team, the Dirty Dogs, right?
Right.
Was that a play on the Dirty Heels? Bobby Roode and Austin Aries? Probably.
It could be that. It's either that or...
Because hear me out, the Hurt Business is a play on the Beatdown.
Right.
You can't tell me.
Yeah, definitely.
So now that I think about it, I'm like, Dirty Dogs, the Dirty Heels? Whoa.
Now, I took it as they're both New Kids on the Block fans because that's a old New Kids on the Block song. It's a bad song, but
I think that was definitely all Vince because Ziggler and Roode was just fine. They did not need a tag team.
I think once Roode comes back from injury, I think that he's probably going to get one last shot as a singles before he becomes basically but in wrestling, he's the put over guy, the worker, the
I'm gonna say it
the
like
PC
this.
trainer. He becomes the PC trainer.
I see him going to join old buddy Frankie Kazarian back in the glory days.
Yeah, that could be a possibility, but I think that with the development of the tag team division now, because you look at how many stables, how many teams are happening now. This wouldn't have happened under Vince's under his rule of law. The titles need to be split because now you have so much activity happening on both shows with tag teams that it's necessary. The formulation of Her Business, Omos just helped Bobby get the number one contender for the U.S. title.
Yo, that did turn me up a little bit. I was like, yo, they're gonna add Omos. That's crazy.
Right. It's a good look. I'm it's actually something that I did in my WWE 2K22 series, like my league. I already had that implanted for mine. It's just a pain in the ass to turn Bobby because he's in such a rivalry with Samoa Joe. Long story. Any case, I do see that the separation of the titles are necessary. I am glad that they're putting more emphasis on the U.S. title. This would not be a thing under Vince's watchful eye. We mentioned,
I
Roman.
appreciate the love for the U.S. title, but I really wish they had a world title.
That they had the main event title there. I'm looking for them to have like the big title. I do enjoy the fact that the U.S. title is their intercontinental title. Gunther is doing amazing work on SmackDown with that belt. Like,
I know.
He's brought prominence to it.
But also Roman is also there flaunting the WWE championships, doing every now and then like world title shots on a SmackDown.
Right.
And we could just separate that, do that on both shows. Like, remember like when Neville got his title shot against Seth Rollins?
Right.
Because Seth Rollins tried to fight El Torito, but then, he met the requirements, and then we got that golden age. We can't get that on Raw until somebody puts a Raw title back on it.
Right. I think prediction wise, which I'm gonna probably do in the next week or so, but I'll drop a teaser for it where I do believe that third time's a charm for Kevin. I think he does get the title, and it'll be because Sammy inadvertently interferes in it. That they need to separate the belts. It's time. They've had it. It's had its run. I know a lot of people aren't fans of the different titles, but I mean, everybody sits there and they go, well, you got to go back to the golden age of wrestling. I'm like, yeah, the golden age of wrestling. They've had fucking 80 belts. The people they had TV titles. They had fucking junior heavyweight titles. They had junior tag team titles. They had tag team TV titles. They had the North Atlantic champion. They had so many fucking belts. Like, that is the golden age of wrestling. Everybody had a fucking belt.
I will say for a fact that I am in one of those rare contingents that say if there is a world championship, there does need to be one, because how can you have two champions of the world? But I have gotten used to having two world championships at the same time.
I think that the WWE title is the main title. I've always said that. I've always put it. I think the Raw Universal title is their secondary title.
It honestly depends on who they have it on.
Right.
Because if it's on Brock Lesnar, it's number one. Like if Dean Ambrose is WWE and Brock Lesnar is Universal, you know which one's more relevant.
Right. I've always said the WWE title is the title. I think the Universal title, I don't think it should be a show title. I think it should be a Universal title, which is more of it's bumped up over the Intercontinental title. I look at it that way. I don't see it as it should be a brand specific title. I think Universal would be like the fan workhorse title, as opposed to the WWE title, which is the face of the company champion. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I look at it that way.
I get that, because listen to the name.
Right.
You saw what we did when we heard that shit in 2016. Boom.
Exactly. I call it the fruit roll up title at the time. It was the
burnt leather.
Yeah. I wish they would bring back the big gold belt. That's the fucking title that I love. I love that belt. The WCW fucking title.
That makes way too much sense, because that was the most gorgeous belt in wrestling history.
Yeah, that one is just, it shows fucking excellence.
Edge tried to bring it back.
I'm hoping somebody does, because that title shows excellence. That that title shows fucking to be the man, you gotta beat the man. That kind of look. That's the shit.
Can we say somebody else?
I'm sorry. I think Big Gold Belt. I think two people, Flair and Goldberg.
That's the sad thing. That's the sad thing. When I think WCW Big Gold Belt, it's definitely either Goldberg, maybe Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, but I think Hulk Hogan. I think NWO scribbled on it.
Oh yeah, you can't have it without the NWO scribbled on it. But yeah, as painful as it is, yes, I always have to picture that talentless act with the World Championship or the Triple H belt, but that's a later time.
Right. Before I let you go, because I know you got to get to work soon. Your thoughts about what since we had the conversation and it came in unsure. Your thoughts from here on out. At least until the build on WrestleMania, what's your thoughts on what Vince is going to possibly be involved in from here on out?
Ooh, like I said, he's definitely back for Rock versus Roman, because what I'm hearing is his side wants The Rock to win, and Triple H is like, yeah, how about we use some common sense and put the guy that's beaten the whole roster over, because that makes our roster look like a bunch of chumps since the part-timer comes back and beats him. But that's just me. And, I don't know how that's going to go. Also, he might get a little revenge. Do you think he's doing all this because he took the briefcase off Austin Theory?
Could be. There could be something to that. He basically Thanos the whole Vince legacy for the past year or so. He basically just he shook everybody up that Vince was putting in place, or people who were released under Vince's regime. I said that I don't see any other signings occur while Vince is there now. I know everybody's looking to probably Jay White or who's the other one that's on their radar? The other Samoan kid.
Jacob Fatu?
No, Hekulo from New Japan, the other Bullet Club kid.
Okay.
I think that's on the radar, but now with Vince there, I said you don't try to sell your condo, but yet buy new furniture. You just don't do that. All those have to wait. You know, any signings that could be possible could be on hold, unless they were already in place, like the Chelsea Greens and possibly Matt Cardona. Those were already on hold. I think those are already those are individuals that might be coming in soon. Well, Chelsea looks like she's a lock, but I don't.
If he's got Chelsea, Zach has got to come right behind.
Right. I was hoping
maybe Kurt Hawkins too.
I was looking more of Nick Aldis. I was thinking maybe that would be a good look.
Where did he disappear to?
He was in NWA for a while. That ended badly not too long ago. And Mickey James just won the Impact title, which I would not be surprised that she'll pop up again at the Royal Rumble wearing it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Aldis popped up at Royal Rumble as well. That would. So
by the way, please, I've been looking for it everywhere. I can't find it. Don't tell me anything about Bully and Josh. I haven't seen it. I don't.
What's that?
I have yet to see. I cannot find for the life of me Bully Ray versus Josh Alexander. I have yet to figure out who wins. So please do not spoil that one.
Oh, okay. I'll see if I can find it. I can get you a link for it. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, to say the least. Like I said, as long as he doesn't fucking touch creative, I don't give a shit what the fuck happens. And just don't sell it to the Saudis, because it's a nail in the coffin if he does that. I think it's just him basically pissing on the cup, because I've heard people say,
is Vince ready to put the nail in the coffin?
I've heard people say, why doesn't he just give it to the family? And I'm like, he didn't get the company that way. He had to buy it off his father.
That's not a family man.
Yeah, that's not his thing. He bought it off his father. What makes you think he's just going to give it to the kids? Although he did mention it on Howard Stern that he was going to do that, but this was 20 years ago when he said it. It wasn't the billion-dollar company that it is now. So. Oh, and quickly, your thoughts on the possibility if the Khans get involved with the purchase?
No, not at all.
I said the same.
They could try. They could definitely try, but that's not happening. Because what would that have to mean for Vince? He lost.
Vince's stipulation is that he wants to sell the company, but then once it's sold, he still wants to be involved in the company. It's like, who the fuck wants that? Who wants that?
I want that. I want Tony versus Vince. I need that in my life. That would be the funniest backstage clash. Like, first of all, son, get that shit out your nose.
How is this going to even fucking exist in our universe that can occur? It's Vince kowtowing to fucking Tony Khan. Are you fucking kidding me? That you might as well fucking sell the company to fucking shareholders of fucking IKEA stock. Like it's preposterous for that to occur.
But you got to understand, Vince knows Tony's a sucker. So if Vince makes the right amount of friends in that company, he might just be running.
I don't know. It's a fucking sour taste in the mouth to even think about it. But thanks again, bro, for your time. I know you got to be on your way out for work, and it's squeezed in this segment. But as always, check out our boy M2 Inc. on TikTok and on YouTube's and all his other social media outlets. You let them know where they can get you at.
You can get me at Reality of Wrestling. That's M2 Inc. on TikTok, and link in the description for my YouTube channel. That would be 2K in Politics, where we don't show as much love, and we really need to show more love at YouTube. But I just be busy with work.
Yeah, just take the videos and just share it on YouTube. The ones you do on TikTok, just put it on YouTube. No. I cannot do that, because TikTok is nice with their guidelines.
YouTube's going to take those videos in 2 seconds.
Oh, the bastards. All right, brother. Thanks again for your time.
No problem, man.
All righty. And guys, thanks again for checking in with Turnbuckle Tabloid. You guys were awesome. And as always, thank you for being a part of this week's episode. Make sure you check us out on all the social media outlets, on the Facebook, on the Instagrams, on the Twitters, and on TikTok, and on YouTube. And always check us out on all the podcasting outlets that's available. Check us out at RageWorksNetwork.com and as well as on RageWorks.net. Guys, this was an emotional roller coaster this week. Rest in peace. Rest in power to Jay Briscoe, man. That this one hurt bad, man. This one fucked me up greatly. And just know that, you know, life is just a precious thing, man. And enjoy each and every day and every moment of it, because you never know when it could be taken away from you, be it yours or somebody else's that you love dearly. We're out of here, guys. Love you guys. Check you guys later.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Turnbuckle Tabloid.